Now at 6:30, Athens residents could be paying more in taxes, but by how much? We've got the latest on tonight's discussion at City Hall.
Plus, Congress returns to D.C. today after an extended election recess.
And in sports, Ohio football hosts Eastern Michigan on Wednesday night. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Ashley Fry.
And I'm Lucy Schaefer. Welcome to Newswatch. Today in Athens was on the chillier side. Joining us now is forecaster Rachel Grant to tell us if we can expect the same going forward. Rachel?
Yes, we can expect the same going forward into tonight and even tomorrow morning. Most of us are sitting pretty in the 50s. Athens 57, Lancaster 54, Zanesville 54 as well, and same in Newark. So we're all feeling a more consistent, cooler side of fall, and that's reflected on our current conditions right now. 47 outside, clear skies, and we'll be expecting similar conditions going into the evening with a low of 28 degrees. If you are going out tonight, make sure you have that jacket or sweatshirt. We'll be on the more consistently chillier side for our evenings going into nights, so definitely need that jacket or sweatshirt to stay warm. And same thing for tomorrow morning, but not really for the entire day, with a high of 59 and partly sunny skies. And these partly sunny skies are a hint to what to expect going into Thursday with some rain, which I'll talk more about in my full weather forecast. For now, we're going back to the desk.
Thanks, Rachel. Athens City Council will be talking about a possible increase to the city's income tax.
Newswatch reporter Jack Green has more on tonight's discussion.
Lucy and Ashley, I talked to Councilmember Alan Swank earlier today just on how much the city is thinking about raising taxes. He says the city administration is set to suggest a 0.3% increase tonight. Now, this is all because of a tough financial year for the city. Reserves in the general fund dropped to around 5% earlier this year because of a number of unexpected costs. The city's own rules require reserves to be at or above 9%. The fund is now at 8%, which is better than the 5% it was at earlier this year. Council President Sam Krause says the increase could help shore up the general fund. He says this is important as the city tries to tackle needs in the community.
Thanks, Jack. People living near a Kentucky manufacturing plant were placed under evacuation orders Tuesday following a large explosion at the plant. Sources say a loud boom was heard throughout Louisville. 2 people have been rescued after the explosion. Emergency officials are also concerned about an ammonia leak. So far, at least 6 people have been taken to the hospital. Louisville fire officials say more may be expected.
I live about a mile away from here, and I was just inside of my house and heard a huge boom, and the whole house shook. The power went off for a couple of seconds, and I knew it was from this general direction. I could tell it was from this general direction, so I have some friends that live over in this area, so I came and tried to investigate and see what's going on and make sure that they're okay.
People living within a 2-block radius were told to evacuate. Those in a 1-mile radius were given shelter-in-place orders. A home in Athens is in ruins after a fire early Saturday morning. The Athens Fire Department responded to a call around 4 a.m. to a home on West State Street. The fire came from the basement utility closet and worked its way up to the first-floor bedroom. Firefighters rescued the residents in the home and managed to put the fire out. No one was injured. Athens County is receiving over $1.5 million to help fight opioid use. Governor Mike DeWine and the State Mental Health and Addiction Services have announced a $100 million program to combat usage and prevent overdose death. Funding will aid 4 Athens County organizations, including Hopewell Health and Health Recovery Service. Overall, Ohio has seen a 9% decrease in overdose deaths. To keep the decline going, the state has set priorities, including increasing recovery services and preventing opioid use in youth.
A bill making its way through the State House could force tenants to fully pay their water bills when they move out, but municipalities aren't supporting the legislation. Currently, when a tenant falls behind on a utility bill, the municipality can collect those fines, but it doesn't say from whom. If passed, the bill would require the tenant or renter to pay those fines. Those in support of the bill, like the Ohio Real Estate Investors Association, says it's unfair to make the property owner pay for the water they're not using. On the other hand, the Ohio Municipal League says the bill squashes the home rule. The bill restricts municipalities' power to collect past due utility payments, which funds public utilities like water and sewer. Inflation-weary consumers may finally get some relief when shopping for this year's Thanksgiving. Overall, grocery inflation has eased during the past year, and some centerpieces of Thanksgiving tables will be slightly less expensive. Michael Swanson, chief agricultural economist for Wells Fargo, says conditions have improved for turkey farmers as the impact of avian flu has eased.
They got through it mostly, but the good news is feed prices are way down. We've had a couple of really good harvests on corn and soybean meal in this country, so they can actually feed the birds for less.
A survey from Butterball found that 98% of consumers expect inflation to impact their holiday plans, up from 79% in 2023. Still, more than half of those surveyed didn't plan to make changes to save money. Good news for borrowers. Interest rates are falling. The Federal Reserve is cutting benchmark federal funds rates by a quarter point, lowering borrowing costs for banks to around 4.5%. Borrowers will see that drop on credit cards, car loans, and other debt. However, mortgage rates aren't going down, some even inching up in interest. That's because of a lack of housing inventory. Fewer homes on the market means higher prices and more competition.
Home prices hitting new record highs with each passing month, and this is simply due to the fact that we have a housing shortage.
High interest rates are also hurting the cost of a home. The median home sale price last month was $418,000, which is over 3% higher than last year.
Veteran homelessness is at its lowest across the nation since the data collection began in 2009. The U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs reports over an 11% decrease in homeless veterans. The VA also reported a 5% decrease in Ohio since last year. That's due in part to the office's action in housing 48,000 veterans this year and 134,000 since 2022. Overall, veteran homelessness has gone down by half since 2010. Ohio voters could be seeing a constitutional amendment on the next ballot. The Ohio Attorney General's office rejected the Ohio Voters' Bill of Rights Amendment for having a misleading title, but the Ohio Supreme Court says Attorney General Dave Yost can't judge the amendment based on its name. Yost then approved the amendment and asked the group to consider giving it a more accurate name. Now it's up to the Ohio Ballot Board to approve the proposed amendment before the group can start collecting signatures. Disgraced former Ohio House Speaker Larry Householder is hoping the incoming Trump administration will release him from prison. The Perry County native plans to seek a presidential pardon for his role in the largest public corruption scandal in Ohio's history. Householder is serving 20 years in federal prison for orchestrating a $61 million bribery scheme that launched his return to political power in exchange for bailing out 2 nuclear power plants owned by First Energy. A jury convicted him on 1 count of racketeering in March 2023.
Athens held its annual Veterans Day parade, and veterans came from all over to celebrate. Newswatch reporter Haley Richardson has more.
On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, veterans of all ages come together in Athens to celebrate those who served. Some coming from an ocean away, all because their commander asked. Retired Major Roger Johnson lives in the Czech Republic with his family and came to Athens to be the guest speaker for the ceremony. He says veterans should be leaders in their communities, especially for young people.
We all have a role to play in our communities, and I think veterans, with their experience and their background, can be leaders and influencers, especially for young people.
Johnson's former commanding officer, Colonel Joe Mulligan, asked him to speak at the ceremony. The two served during Operation Desert Storm, but haven't lived near each other in decades.
Great guy, could find his way across the desert with his eyes closed.
To Mulligan, the parade is a great way to recognize the reason for the holiday.
You know, nice parade through the town, ideal weather, and it's just a great way to recognize today as Veterans Day and for the veterans that made it happen.
But it's not only veterans celebrating. Wayne Bolin is not a veteran, but he has been volunteering with Sons of the American Legion at their annual Veterans Day breakfast for 6 years. He says he wants to do all he can to help veterans in need.
It's very honorable. It's because knowing that we get to reach out, knowing we get to help veterans, knowing we get to help the community, it's nice, and it's something that gives you a lot of thought for.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Haley Richardson.
Coming up, a New York wildfire from last week continues to burn.
And Congress returns today after an extended election recess.
We saw lots of sunshine today, but will that be the case for tomorrow? Stay tuned to see my full weather forecast when Newswatch returns.
An American Experience.
We have taken a city as thoroughly, as completely as if captured in battle.
It was the only armed overthrow of an elected government.
This was a coup based on the devaluation of African American citizenship. What Wilmington tells us is how fragile American democracy is.
American Coup, Wilmington, 1898, on American Experience.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
Over 200 local newsrooms, over 3,600 journalists, a community of 300 million Americans. The NPR network is listener-supported, independent journalism in communities around the country. It amplifies more voices, more Americas, and takes all of us on new journeys. It takes all of us closer to home. It takes all of us.
This is the PBS Video app. Install it on your phone, tablet, smart TV, or other streaming device, and use it to access more of the PBS shows you love. But if you're looking for even more shows to binge like this, or early access to shows like this, then look for this icon. That's the PBS Passport icon, and it means that video is part of PBS Passport. Passport is our way of saying thank you to our station members. Donate to your local PBS station today, and one of the member benefits you'll receive is PBS Passport, which offers extended access to a growing library of new and favorite PBS programs. You can support your station and your community by becoming a member today. Visit pbs.org/getpassport for details. Watch PBS Passport anytime on any screen, wherever you stream. It's your ticket to the best of PBS.
Fire crews are working to contain a wildfire burning along the New York-New Jersey border. The Jennings Creek wildfire turned deadly this weekend, taking the life of a volunteer forest ranger.
The fire has burned thousands of acres and is threatening dozens of structures. Chris Finneck with the New Jersey Forest Fire Service says the rugged terrain is also a challenge for their response.
Making access to go fight the fire hard to get equipment in there because some areas it's too steep for bulldozers to go to.
Fire crews from New Jersey and New York are working together, attacking the fire from the ground and from the sky, working to contain it and keep it from threatening homes and other structures in the area. And now we're welcoming in Rachel Grant. Rachel, obviously we've had quite a few issues with the drought in Athens, so are we going to see any of the smoke from the fire? How is the fire going to affect us here?
So the fire, thankfully, is not going to affect us. We won't be seeing any smoke coming our way. It's really all being pushed out to sea. But we are still under this drought, and we're expecting to see some rain later into this week. So nothing to worry about smoke or anything like that coming our way. But again, we are still right into this drought still. So we will be expecting a little bit of some sunshine for tomorrow as well. And then we'll eventually be seeing some rain Thursday going into Friday as well. Okay. Again, all of the smoke will really be pushed out to sea with the cold fronts and low pressure systems we're seeing with New York. But for right now, we're not really seeing any rain really developing near us. We're still also under this drought, but that will change. And a closer look at that, we're seeing a little bit of rain developing near New York, but not really anything for us. So it was a pretty clear day. We saw lots of sunshine. We're still on the drier side. And along with being on the drier side, most of us are still on the chillier side for fall. Most of us sitting in the mid to higher 50s, Athens 57, Lancaster 54, Zanesville 54 as well. So again, we're all sitting on the cooler side for fall and getting into that consistent groove for this season. And that's reflected on our recap for today. High of 55 and sunny skies. And these sunny skies will be continuing these clear skies will be continuing into tonight with that low of 28 degrees. If you are going outside, make sure you have that jacket or sweatshirt. It will be a chillier night. Not necessarily what to expect for tomorrow with a high of 59 and partly sunny skies. And these partly sunny skies are a hint to what to expect going into Thursday with some rain developing. We're seeing some rain developing out into the west. It'll further develop Wednesday, but for our Wednesday, we'll still be expecting more consistent Some more consistent and clear weather with the stationary front really just camping out near us, but that will clear out Wednesday nights. We're seeing this rain further developing, getting bigger, moving closer to us, and we'll be seeing a full-on washout for our Wednesday. We're also seeing this low pressure system really passing through us Wednesday going into Friday, so there will be a warm-up going into the weekend, but Thursday will be a complete washout. Be raining all day going into this evening or into Thursday evening. Here's our 3-day recap. High of 59 for tomorrow, partly sunny skies, and that's a hint to what to expect for Thursday with the high of 55 and complete washout, raining all day Thursday. By Friday, it'll fully clear out. Might be seeing some clouds lingering going into the weekend, but for Saturday, we'll be on the more warmer side with the with the warm front fully passing through us by Friday and mostly sunny skies. As for Sunday, still on the warmer side, high of 60 with mostly cloudy skies, and that's a hint to what to expect going into next week. With the high of 62 on Monday, partly sunny skies with some showers going into Tuesday as well. So still on the warmer side, still going to see some showers this week going into next week. We're catching a little bit of a break from the rain going into the weekend.
Thanks, Rachel. Members of the House and Senate are back on Capitol Hill today after more than a month-long recess. This lame duck session is poised to be hectic. Amy Kiley reports on the pressing deadlines before Inauguration Day.
That December 20th deadline is going to creep up very quickly.
Congress returns to Washington today after an extended election recess. Lawmakers face an urgent to-do list and a ticking clock. They have about 5 weeks to pass a funding bill to keep the government open.
Expect a clash because that's always what happens when we have these potential shutdowns. Republicans are likely going to push for a shorter-term funding patch, while Democrats are going to want a longer-term funding plan.
Another pressing concern is this fiscal year's National Defense Authorization Act. The House and Senate have separate versions on the table and need one that can pass both chambers. Congress also faces pressure to approve more disaster relief funds after Hurricanes Milton and Helene.
We have seen an increase in the frequency and gravity of extreme weather events, and it is our obligation as a government to be prepared for the long term. And that is why we need Congress to act.
Meanwhile, some farm bill programs expire at the end of this year. The debt ceiling will be reinstated January 2nd, and
President Biden will have the opportunity over the next 70 days to make the case to the Congress and to the incoming administration that the United States should not walk away from Ukraine.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Donald Trump's lawyers and the Manhattan District Attorney's Office have agreed to delay activity in the hush money case until November 19th. That will give the president-elect's lawyers time to make new arguments on how his election victory impacts the case. The judge was expected to rule Tuesday on whether to overturn the business fraud conviction based on this summer's Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity. But instead, both sides agreed to a motion to delay existing deadlines. Trump is seeking to vacate his conviction on 34 counts of falsifying business records. The U.S. Supreme Court will not hear an appeal from a January 6th rioter. John Nassif received a 7-month prison sentence for his actions in the 2021 siege on the U.S. Capitol. But in his legal challenge, he argued the law which bans demonstrating at the Capitol building violates his First Amendment rights. An appeals court rejected that defense, responding the Capitol buildings are not open to public protests.
Ohio football takes on the Eastern Michigan Eagles on Wednesday night in a MAC battle. Ohio is currently at the top of the conference. Hear from head coach Tim Albin and more.
There's something I need your help with. What's to be done?
You can't resist it.
No more can you. What sort of people are these Wilcoxes?
Come down with me now to Howard's End.
What if the killer's someone we haven't considered yet?
You couldn't have just started a book club, could you?
They are some of the most powerful people in the land. Well then, I'll be on my best behavior.
Sunday on WOUB.
Sherlock
Holmes is the world's most famous detective. But why didn't his creator, Arthur Conan Doyle, love him as much as the rest of us do? In this series, I'm tracking down clues and evaluating the evidence to discover where creator and creation diverged. I'm hoping to open a little window into Arthur's mind.
WOUB is recognizing members of our Cornerstone Society. The Cornerstone Society is a group that wants to ensure the future of public media in our region. It includes people across our area who value news, entertainment, and cultural programming, as well as the educational services WOUB provides. Also included are graduates of Ohio University who took part in the WOUB Student Professional Development Program. Thanks to the Cornerstone Society for their generous support. To learn how you can be involved, email woub@woub.org.
This year, Gridiron is back and better than ever with our 25th season. I'm your host, Haley Hollinger.
And I'm your digital host, Donovan Varney. Throughout the week, make sure to tune into our Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube for game preview segments on the pregame huddle. If you still can't get enough high school football, check out our Instagram and TikTok for more weekly content.
And of course, we'll see you right here every Friday night at 11:30 p.m. because there's nothing better than Friday nights and Gridiron Glory.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Evan Johnson. Tomorrow night, the Ohio Bobcats will host the Eastern Michigan Eagles in a MACtion battle. Ohio is coming off of a 41-0 dominant victory over Kent State. But the defense will have a bigger test going against one of the best offenses in the MAC. The Eagles currently rank second in the conference, averaging 29 points per game. They are led by senior dual-threat quarterback Cole Snyder. On the other side of the ball, several Bobcats received significant carries, resulting in a total of 258 rushing yards. Ohio will need to take care of the football, as turnovers have been a problem for the offense. Head coach Tim Albin discussed these concerns.
The most concerning thing probably would be they're number one in our league in turnover margin and ranked nationally. That's a concern, as we have turned the ball over way too much as an offense. And so it'll be an interesting matchup. We'll have to play well, but I just know we're looking forward to being at home.
Ohio is currently atop of the MAC alongside 3 other teams. The Bobcats have had the best overall record in the conference at 6-3. With only 3 games left in the season, each game becomes that much more important. Teams such as Eastern Michigan are still fighting and have a chance to make their way to the top. There will be some shakeup later tonight when Bowling Green hosts Western Michigan. Winter sports are kicking off their seasons as Ohio men's basketball will start a road trip tonight. They'll be facing the Illinois State Redbirds. The Bobcats got their first win of the season Saturday against UNC Asheville. Ohio was led by senior forward A.J. Clayton with 19 points. There's also some history on the line as head coach Jeff Bowles looks for his 100th win with the Bobcats. Bowles can become the 7th coach in Ohio program history to hit 100 wins. The Redbirds are also 1-1 this season, and they are looking for their first home win. Illinois State is scoring 71 points per game. And due to a lack of size, the Redbirds attempt a lot of shots from behind the arc. But Ohio is shooting very well this season with a 47.8 shooting percentage. They'll have to keep making their shots at a high rate in order to get the win.
Just take it one day at a time. Dummy me for making this schedule, but it's a great opportunity for us. You're going to play a really good Illinois State team, and then turn around, head down to Memphis, play a athletic Memphis team. And then, playing our MTE. But, I think the big thing is take it one day at a time, one game at a time. Don't get tired of preparing to win.
Junior Anya Arnichka was named MAC Volleyball Offensive Player of the Week. She led Ohio to 3 wins last week over Kent State and Buffalo, while Arnichka totaled 46 kills and 51 points. She also put up a very impressive 41.4 hitting percentage. The Bobcats will wrap up the regular season with 2 matches against Bowling Green this weekend. Finally, Ohio picked up some hardware this week as Peyton Keller won the MAC West Division Wrestler of the Week. Keller defeated 2 Big Ten opponents last Saturday. Let's send it back to Ashley.
Still ahead, this river in Southeast Ohio is receiving a special designation.
He shows us something between what you see and what you don't see.
This is the story of the most curious man in history.
The influence of Leonardo's vision was enormous.
He's doing things no one had ever done before. And that is simply astounding.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
It's such a magical place.
The abundance of life, absolutely extraordinary.
And then it hit me. The world has to see this. Seeing the lions back on the beach. How are they going to survive?
In my lifetime, I get to be the first of something that could change people's lives.
The treasure was hidden in a special place. We are very lucky.
Wednesday on WOUB. For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
It's in our blood.
It is living your culture to create.
The soul, that energy, it's me.
A southeastern Ohio creek has now been designated as Ohio's newest state scenic river. Raccoon Creek runs for over 900 miles, and about 100 miles flow through parts of Vinton, Meigs, and Gallia counties. A little over 110 miles are now considered scenic. The creek is now the 16th state scenic river in Ohio and the first in southeastern Ohio.
And this is an exciting day. This is really the first one in southeast Ohio. It is a testament to a tremendous amount of work that's been done over the years. This was a river that was virtually dead.
The river was getting acid mine drainage and sedimentation from the watershed as a result of coal mining. ODNR has spent millions of dollars cleaning up the river since the 70s. Well, I think it's so cool how a river so local to us, it got such a cool title, especially with Hocking Hills, also really local, very scenic.
Yeah, we have so many amazing opportunities to hike and see some beautiful things around Athens, so this is just another one on the list that I think is incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite things to do in Athens.
Yeah, I agree.
What about you, Rachel?
I also love to hike. It's one of my favorite things to do, especially when the weather is really nice. And it is today, it was today, it will be tonight, and it will be tomorrow for sure, but not necessarily for Thursday. It might going to be a complete washout for Thursday. We'll catch a break going into Friday. Might see some clouds lingering from the showers, but Saturday we'll be seeing lots of sunshine with a high of 57. We will also be seeing a warm-up for our weekend and a high of 60 for Sunday and mostly cloudy skies. Going into Monday, still on the warmer side with a high of 62 and partly sunny skies, and that's a hint to what to expect for Tuesday, with a 30% chance of showers and a high of 60. So definitely seeing some showers going into Thursday, but again, catching a break for the weekend, and we'll be seeing some showers going into early next week.
That does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Jack Green and Evan Johnson, I'm Ashley Fry.
And I'm Lucy.
You are watching WOUB TV in Athens and WOUC TV in Cambridge.
Support comes from Visit Athens County. More information can be found at AthensOhio.com. Athens, it's more than a place.